Good evening, everyone. I am Lori May B. Pintoy from BSN Science 3B. Today, we will be discussing Module 10, which is about ecoliteracy. Learning outcomes. Number 1. Explain ecoliteracy in developing sustainable environment. Number 2. Discuss the 7 environmental principles of nature. Number 3. Describe a green school. Number 4. Articulate how ecoliteracy can be integrated in the curriculum practice in the school and demonstrated in a classroom. Number 5. Draw relevant life lessons and significant values from a personal experience on initiating or participating in an environmental activity. Number 6. Analyze a research abstract on ecoliteracy and its implication to teaching learning process. Number 7. Make a community service action plan on environmental care and protection. Now let us move on to the interactive presentation, which is entitled Commitment to Mother Earth Ceremony. This activity entails environmental commitment reflection in class. Through this activity, students will hopefully realize the importance of nature to their lives and take responsibilities in protecting and preserving the environment. Procedure. Number 1, the class will form one big circle and everyone will sit on the floor. Number 2, the teacher distributes cut-out leaves to the students and show a big picture of a tree posted on the board. Number 3, the teacher plays an environmental music through Spotify, Kapaligiran by Asin, Paraiso by Smoky Mountain, and What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Number 4, while lights are off, the class listens to the song and reflect on its message through photos and videos flashed on screen using an LCD projector. Number 5, after the music has been played, students share their thoughts and experiences about the environment to the group. Number 6, the teacher asks students to write on the leaves their commitment to Mother Earth. Number 7, while the same music is played with lighted candle, each student posts his or her nature commitment written on the cutout leaf. Number 8, the class will find time for a brief reflection on this activity. Number 9, the class may also watch for a reflection, a documentary film on climate change or the present or future condition on nature. Number 10, the class may also invite a resource speaker, preferably an environmentalist, nature advocate, or DENR officer, in a nature forum in class. Ecoliteracy and sustainable development. Ecoliteracy considers ecological systems and awareness of how society operates within natural aspects as an educational imperative. It is important to know the ecological systems of your students. These includes the age, the gender, the culture, their tradition, their political views, their ideologies, and etc. Because these could affect the effectiveness of implementing ecoliteracy in school. The basic principles of ecoliteracy are good starting points to explore fundamental lessons that can be learned from nature for the reform of the society. It is important to have a strong foundation of the basic principles of ecoliteracy because this will serve as your backbone to explore, learn, and grow as an individual. Ecological literacy provides a basis for integrated thinking about sustainability. Ecological literacy is the ability to understand natural systems that make life on Earth possible. If you are an ecoliterate person, you have a deeper understanding on the organization of ecological communities, meaning to say that you have the ability to make a contribution to make your society sustainable. Ecologically literate person and society. An ecologically literate person can apply such understanding to the design and organization of communities and the creation of a regenerative culture. This means that if you are an ecologically literate person, you are not just simply having an understanding or knowledge about ecoliteracy, but you are applying or taking an initiative effort to make your society progress or to make your culture progressive or continuously grow. An ecologically literate society would be a sustainable society which does not destroy the natural environment on which they depend on. This is according to WAL 2017. This means that an ecologically literate society would be a society that would be mindful and careful on making an action or a decision. They would not do actions that could negatively affect their environment. Instead, they would make an action or a decision that could maintain, preserve, and grow their natural environment on which they depend on. Now, let us proceed to the ways to develop ecoliteracy in schools. 2. Embrace sustainability as a community practice. Embracing means you acknowledge, you gave importance, you prioritize the value of sustainability. This means that you make an action, you provide a solution for the betterment or for the benefits of the whole community. 3. Make the invisible visible. This means that you exert effort to unveil or discover underlying problems in your community. And when you get to discover the underlying problems in your community, you make actions or efforts to solve it. 4. Anticipate unintended consequences. It is important to anticipate unintended consequences even though it will not come as what you have anticipated, because it will prevent you from getting into a more troublesome problem by providing an earlier solution. Then it is important for a teacher to provide or to teach students the strategies to anticipate unintended consequences. The number 5, understand how nature sustains life. An ecoliterate person understand and give value to how nature sustains life for a long time. Therefore, they take part on the activities that helps in preserving and conserving nature. 7 environmental principles of nature. 1. Nature knows best. This is the most basic principles of all the 7 principles. We humans must have to understand the nature and follow its rules, because if we want to ensure steady and continuous supply of resources, one must not go against the rule of the nature, because if we cause any disruptions in the cycle of nature, this can bring an imbalance in our ecosystem. Number 2, all forms of life are important. Each organism plays a fundamental role in our nature. It is easy to appreciate the beauty of an organisms like butterflies, especially if we know that it plays an important role in pollination. The giant ones like elephants, the whales, the alligators are the ones we respect with mixed fear or wonder and the products they produce. But when it comes to unlovely, squirmy, and troublesome creatures, this principle is unusually overlooked. Number 3, everything is connected to everything else. In an ecosystem, all biotic and abiotic factors interact with each other to ensure that the system is sustained. Any intrusion from outside may cause an imbalance and therefore collapsing the environment. Everything changes. The environment is constantly changing. Organisms develop also through time. However, with our current technology, we have affected these natural changes that these changes now causes problematic events to us. Humans should rethink their relationship with the environment, because what we believe that is beneficial to us often caused or often turned out to be catastrophic. Number 5, everything must go somewhere. Everything ends elsewhere. It doesn't just disappear. For example, if you throw a plastic or a candy wrapper away, it disappears from your sight. but it does not cease to exist. It always ends up elsewhere. The gases released in the atmosphere may spread, but it will end up a component of the atmosphere and can be brought down by rains. Any particular type of waste should always be a concern to us. It may be a pollutant or a resource depending on a certain factors. Be a responsible person and throw your trash away properly. 6. Ours is a finite Earth. Earth's resources can be classified as either renewable or non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those resources that can easily be replenished through natural cycles, like for example, the plants, the air, the water, and the animals. While the non-renewable resources are those resources that cannot easily be replenished through natural cycle. That is why it is important that we must be frugal and we must take good care of our resources because it has limitations. Number 7. Nature is beautiful and we are stewards of God's creation. Being the most intelligent and gifted person, it is our responsibility to take good care of the gift that God has given to us. We should take good care of them and not destroy them. In school, concept and background. In 1990, the concept was introduced in Europe. In 1992, in Rio Earth Summit, took cognizance of the need to take action in every area in which human impacts on the environment. In 2002, World Summit on Sustainable Development, or the WSST, catalyzed efforts to bring shift in educating about the environment to education for sustainability. In 2005, United Nations launched the Decade of Education for Sustainable Development to integrate principles, values, and practices of sustainable development into all aspects of education. Green School and AST. The Green School is visualized as a school guided by the principles of environmental sustainability, meaning to say a green school is a school that strictly follows or adhere the principles of environmental sustainability. Number 2, it seeks to create a conducive environment to fully utilize all resources, meaning to say that uh, it builds buildings that are conducive for learning, and it also provides equipments and facilities that are essential for the students to have a better teaching and learning process. Creating a green school. A green school is a school that creates a healthy environment conducive to learning while saving energy, environmental resources, and money. Therefore, number 1, it reduces environmental impacts and costs. A green school can reduce environmental impacts and costs by simply implementing the 3 R's, which is the reduce waste, reuse resources, and recycle materials. Or they could organize a tree planting days at school and tell the students why trees are important to the environment. Or they could encourage children to switch off all appliances and lights when not in use. Number 2, it improves occupants' health and performance. A green school can improve occupants' health and performance by simply planting trees in the school and providing proper ventilation or good ventilation, proper daylighting, and organizing a feeding school program. Number 3, it increases environmental and sustainability literacy. A school can increase environmental and sustainability literacy by constantly having symposium or orientation on schools. Characteristics of a green school. Number 1, it protects health. A green school protects health because it provides proper ventilation and good daylighting and has many planted trees. Number 2, it increases student performance. A green school increases student performance because it lessens absences due to sickness or health problems, and therefore increases students' attendance in class. Number 3, it saves energy and money. Number 4, it reduces carbon emission. Number 5, it reduces water usage. 6, it improves teacher retention. A green school can reduce teacher turnover by up to 5% and it improves teaching and learning process. Number 7, it improves daily attendance. Number 8, it provides a unique educational opportunity. Number 9, it creates green jobs. And number 10, it improves equity. Green school buildings create an environment where students and teachers are more comfortable, less prone to illness, and more focused on teaching and learning. Therefore, green schools improve health, wellness, and academic performance.
And now, let's go to our next topic, which is the Dark Green School Program, Philippines Environmental Perspective. What is a Dark Green School, or DGS? The DGS is a school that delivers environmental education through assimilation of the environmental philosophy by the students in formal lessons as well as activities outside the classroom. The objective of the DGS is that students graduating from Philippine schools must have knowledge, skills, and motivation to work for the integrity of our country's environment, for the whole of God's creation, for their own sake, and for the sake of generations to come. And in order to accomplish this program, there are certain requirements that school must have. First of the list is to be clean and neat. In this way, having this kind of order and organized environment, we can say that there is a proper regulations and management prior to the cleanliness and neatness. Second is to have a proper waste management, land use, and etc. It implies that there should an established allocation as to where things should belong, and there must be a proper segregation between distinctive materials as well as the showing our compassionate respect to other people. The third one suggests that management policies and guidelines must exist so that everyone will be guided in creating a healthful and ecological campus. Next, the fourth one entails that a school must have a well-planned environment curriculum with the integration of all students, including faculties and staffs, library, and financial support. The fifth one refers to the awareness that students and faculties must know in order to appreciate the environmental program of the school. The sixth one pertains in outreaching to the outside community. This is essential because in this manner, our concern for Mother Earth can be easily disseminated as well as facilitating projects and programs for the improvement of the environment. The last one is to engage in research that adds knowledge in the ways of nature and the impact of human activities. Smithsman mentioned practical suggestions on how we can support the change for sustainability through ecological living. These are the inner ecology and outer ecology. Ecological living practices. Ecological living is about protecting and preserving the environment of planet Earth through recognizing the uniqueness of its various ecosystems and species. Sustainable living is a practical philosophy that aims to reduce personal and societal environmental impact by making positive changes which counteract climate change and other negative environmental concerns. The dimensions of sustainability describes the environmental impacts of our activities, the causes of which come from the socio-economic and political systems of the society. Sustainable development entails three dimensions: environmental, economic, and social. Ecological living, and thus ecological literacy, provides people with the tools, knowledge, and wisdom for taking concrete actions on their deeper desire to contribute to a better world and future. In outer ecology, first is to educate yourself about the resources that you, your family, and organization utilize to fulfill and sustain your needs. And next is to reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. Next is to be aware of the real price for goods and services that you use. Cheap products often have hidden costs. Example, the cost of child labor, animal cruelty, or degradation of the ecosystem. And the next is to find out about any child labor practices or natural resources that were sacrificed in the process of producing these products and services. Next is to recycle your gray water, collect and use your rainwater, create an organic vegetable garden, and compost your organic waste and use the compost in your garden. Next is to create a garden with a balance of endemic and indigenous plants to support local wildlife such as animals, insects, trees, and plants. Create a roof garden or green roof as a natural air conditioning alternatives and to increase your garden space. Buy organic and local produces as much as possible. And last is to support local businesses and organizations that care for our planet. Our next topic is integrating ecological literacy into the curriculum. Integrating ecoliteracy in the curriculum is important because an ecological education occurs both within the natural environment and in the local community, where students can build relationships and apply their understanding in a real-world setting. Ecoliteracy knowledge empowers students to help create a better society and to make a difference. Students learn best when teaching strategies are varied that includes hands-on activities, time for reflection, thoughtful discussion, and combined indoor and outdoor environments, including interdisciplinary projects. These teaching strategies are: first is the place-based learning, second is the project-based learning, third is the Socratic inquiry, fourth is the experiential learning, and the fifth is the interdisciplinary learning. Place-based learning is an experiential learning that engages students in their own environments, a strategy that captures imagination, advances environmental stewardship and civic engagement, supporting habitat restoration projects, and working with local citizens to improve the quality of life in their communities. Learning takes students out of the classroom and into the community and natural environments. Successful place-based programs involve students as participants in the life of their communities. Successful projects demonstrate many of the following characteristics. Projects have consequences, students' contribution make differences to environmental quality and the well-being of communities. Second is the place-based learning are integrated back into classroom sessions. Next is students play an active role in defining and shaping projects. Students collaborate with local citizens, organizations, agencies, business, and government. Working alongside community members, students help make plans that shapes the future of the social, physical, and economic environment. Second is the project-based learning. It involves students in projects that use a variety of resources, increase critical thinking skills, improve positive study and work habits, bears environmental impact such as habitat restoration, modeling the evolutions of agriculture and changing foods in schools. It is a strategy that involves students in projects that use a variety of resources, including the community, technology, outside experts, written resources, and the web, while the teachers usually serves as facilitators of learning. The third one is the Socratic inquiry. It is based on asking and answering questions to stimulate critical thinking and to draw out ideas and underlying presuppositions. Socratic inquiry is named for the Greek philosopher Socrates, who believed that questions, not answers, stimulate learning. Rather than teaching facts and information, Socrates encouraged young people to question their assumptions, values, and preconceptions. Through this process, students uncover their beliefs, misconceptions, and values, and eventually clarify the thoughts related to the topic under discussions. Through engaging in Socratic discussions, students can become more adept at critical thinking, improve their listening skills, learn to better articulate their thoughts and ideas, and become more tolerant of diverse opinions. In Socratic inquiry, the role of the teacher shifts from direct instruction to facilitating discussion. Through skilled questioning, the teacher asks students to clarify their statements, identify weaknesses in their arguments, and provide evidence of their reasoning. The fourth one is the experiential learning. It promotes students' involvement in the real world. It goes along with principles learning associated with environmental literacy, a process that starts with unstructured exploration, followed by concept formation and application. Experiential learning is vital to schooling for sustainability. Only through direct contact with the natural world will students develop an in-depth understanding of fundamental ecological principles. By working with others to solve real-world problems, they also develop skills at the heart of sustainable living. The last learning strategy is interdisciplinary learning. It emphasizes connection between traditionally discrete disciplines such as math, science, history, and etc. It eliminates fragmentation and learning of isolated skills. It increases students' motivation for learning as well as their level of active engagement. In contrast to learning skills in isolation, when students participate in interdisciplinary learning, they recognize the value of what they are learning and become more involved in it. Adhere to the principles of sustainable living.